2 months after my exams, I was kidnapped at gunpoint. Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nakiuti, and I say a big thank you to all those who have been supporting me, those who subscribed, those who liked, shared, and commented on my videos. I say God bless you all. Let's keep the fire burning. And those who have not yet subscribed, kindly press the subscribe button. We are continuing with our story from the previous times, and I'm going to talk about how I failed my exams 3 times before I finally passed. Grab a glass of juice and stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. So in the previous video, I spoke about how I was scammed a week after my dad passed away. This week will be the second year in which I lost my dad, and may he so rest in peace. Today I'm going to talk about how I failed my IELTS examination 3 times before I finally passed, or before I finally got the requirements to practice as a nurse. It wasn't easy, but in the end, it was worth it. So in August, I decided to take the exams because my father's funeral was in September. So I took the exams in August, and when the results came, I had 7.0. I was a bit disappointed, but not very, very disappointed. I was like, well, it's just my first attempt, so there are better things in store for me. I had 7.5 in listening, 6.5 in reading, 7.0 in writing, and 6.5 in speaking. So I decided to write the next month, but looking at the funeral coming up and IELTS requiring a lot of learning, a lot of input before you take the exams, I decided to postpone it to the next month after my dad's burial. So I decided to take the CBT exams, the computer-based exams for nurses, in September, some few days before the funeral. I took the exams and then I passed. Fast forward, the funeral was over. I registered for the exams in October. I was like, this time around, I pray that I pass. Unfortunately for me, I wrote and then I got 7.0 again, with listening 7.0, reading 6.0, writing 7.0, and speaking 7.5. You should have seen the disappointment on my face that day. I was like, oh, I'm tired. I can't do it anymore. But then I remember that I said I want to travel. So I was like, no, I need to do it again. Bear in mind, I was sponsoring myself, like I was paying for the exams for my own pocket. And it means I needed to raise about 2,000 cedis again for the next month. It wasn't easy. On the third one, I was like, this time around, I'm not going back. This is the last time I'm going to write and I'm going to pass. I didn't have money. I had to call a few friends to loan some money from them. And then I told them when our salary comes, I'm going to pay them back. So I took the money and then registered for the exams in November. I took the exams again and I had 7.5. Before the papers were collected, in the reading again, I realized that instead of true or false, I wrote yes or no. And I couldn't change the answers before the invigilators came for the papers. I knew very well my answers were correct. But because I interchanged it and then I wrote true instead of yes, I was marked down. And guess what? Reading came, I had 6.5 again. And I knew those 3 or 4 marks brought me down. I had listening 8.5, reading 6.5, writing 6.5, and speaking 7.5. At this point, I just laid on my bed and cried. I cried. I was like, where am I going to get the money to register again? I was discouraged. But then I remembered that I have paid for the UK NMC verification. That's about £150, and then I can't let that money go waste. So I was like, well, When you fall down, you rise again. So I'm going to register for the exams again. When my salary came, I paid off those I was owing. Then I had to go back again and then borrow another money to register for the exams. I'm a member of Grace Mountain Ministries, Alpha R. That's how most people know the church here, Alpha R. So, and I'm a member of the choreography team. And on the day of my exams, I registered for the exams in December. So, let's say I wrote my first exams in August. In September, I didn't write IELTS, I wrote CBT. So in October, I registered for another IELTS, making the second one. November, I registered for another one, making the third one. And then in December, I registered again, making the fourth. So we went for rehearsal that Friday, and I had my exams on Saturday. I took my passport along. When I went for rehearsal, I went to place the passport on the altar. So whilst we were rehearsing, we were dancing and rehearsing, I was also praying alongside that, Father, do not put me to shame. After the rehearsals, I took the passports and then I slept in church because just in the morning I have an exams and it's quite closer from the church to the exam center than me going back home. In the morning, I quickly took my things, dressed up, and then left for the center. This time around, when the results came, although I was scared to open, I gathered courage and I opened it. And guess what? I had I had another 7.5. Then I was like, God, I hope this 7.5 reading is 7. Lo and behold, listening, I had 8.5. Reading, I had 7.0. Writing, I had 6.5. And speaking, I had 8.0. Come and see me screaming. I was like, finally, finally, like, finally, I'm going to travel to the UK. Hey. I was so happy. I tell you, I was super excited. I lied on the floor and I was like, God, thank you. God, thank you. I'm so grateful. But you know what happened? I was, should I say I was kidnapped after 2 months after my exams? I was kidnapped at gunpoint. And I will talk about that in my next video. So do well to subscribe and turn on the notification button. So when I post it, you get a notification and then you watch. So I want to tell any nurse who is planning on traveling outside, who is planning on taking the IELTS examination, that yes, it's not easy, but you need to push yourself. You need to motivate yourself. You don't have to give up. Whenever you feel like giving up, look at the goal ahead and then give yourself that strength, give yourself that encouragement. And in the end, victory will be yours. See you next time. Bye.